conversation. But before we begin, I'd like to talk a little bit about how this program gets started. We have created a very exciting and innovative committee on campus, the Committee on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We have many members of the campus that are involved in this, our staff, our faculty, and it is chaired by our own Dr. Jessica Jones, who, in addition being the director of our Student Success Center, is also our Title IX and EEAAO officer. So this is the first time that the Title IX officer has reported directly to the Chancellor, and the first time that this committee is also an offshoot of the Chancellor's office, and we are very honored to have this mechanism in place. I'd like to say a little bit about Women's History Month. What an exciting time for our country, for our state, and for our locale to have such a great group of female leaders in place. We have our first vice president and a woman of color in the top national office. We have many critical female leaders in our state, such as Mary Leach Werner, our past chair of our Board of Supervisors. We have many women in our community that are standout leaders. And so it's an honor for me to be able to stand up here as another leader in the region and in the state, to be able to introduce and to say a minute about these wonderful women. Kitty Deshotel is vice president at JD Bank, and she and I are colleagues and friends. She represents the banking industry here in Eunice and in the region. We have Madeline Rosette, who I have not had the pleasure of actually meeting yet, and she is here for CASA St. Landry-Evangeline. But last, but certainly not least, I would like to talk a little bit about Ms. Felicity Carriere. Felicity was our worker in our student office, and she has just gone on because she's going to tell you about her journey to become an entrepreneur. And we are so very, very proud of her for taking this leap. But when we sent out a piece to the campus about Women's History Month, I asked people to write about who inspired them. And Felicity, you are the person that inspires me. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and I can't wait to watch you grow and succeed in your future endeavors. So we want to thank everybody for being here for this really inaugural event for the college. We have big plans for the upcoming year in terms of courageous conversations, and we think in many leadership activities that will be coming forth. So I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Kyle Smith.
All righty, thank you, Chancellor, and welcome everyone in this room and in Zoom land, and to our panelists. My name is Dr. Kyle Smith. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at LSU Eunice, and I will be the moderator for today's panel. My wife asked me this morning, why are you, a guy, moderating a women's panel? Which I thought was a pretty interesting question. But the name of the committee that plans this in conjunction with the Chancellor's office is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, Inclusion. And so it's important for us to remember that, you know, being inclusive needs to be at the heart of everything we do. And I'm encouraged to see so many men in the crowd. I know that UL Lafayette offers a phenomenal women's conference, and people see that and they say, oh, well, that's a conference for women. And it's important to note that, you know, men, especially in leadership roles, need to be as aware as anybody else about the struggles and the challenges that women face in leadership and in the community. And so anyway, in my personal experience, I've been lucky that almost exclusively I've worked in my entire career for women leaders. And so my leadership style and who I am today has been mostly a result of the leaders who have inspired me through the years at each university that I've worked at. And so I'm honored to be here as your moderator for the panel. And Dr. Sorensen introduced our panel briefly, but I will go ahead and tell you a little bit more about them. Kitty Jo Deshotel is a vice president at JD Bank in Eunice. She has been in banking industry for 19 years and has worked in many different roles within the bank. In her current position, Ms. Deshotel is a loan officer and the manager of the JD Bank Eunice branch. She leads the overall operations of the branch and employees, as well as making consumer and commercial loans to customers. She is married with 3 wonderful kids and lives in Vadrine, Louisiana, where they farm rice, crawfish, and soybeans. Her community work includes serving as Eunice Rotary president and on the board of Eunice Chamber of Commerce. She is involved in financial literacy in the schools, the Eunice Food Bank, Food for Families, and volunteers for various events in the city. Past involvement includes serving on the board of Evangeline Chamber of Commerce and Evangeline Parish Foundation. Ms. Deshotel is a graduate of McNeese State University in 2009, where she received a bachelor's degree in finance. Over the years, Ms. Deshotel has also completed several continuing education courses through the Louisiana Bankers Association. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Deshotel. We also have with us Miss Madeline Rosette, a fellow St. Landry leadership classmate of mine, representing, and is a resident of Opelousas, Louisiana, and she is the director of the Court of Appointed Special Advocates of St. Landry Parish Evangeline Incorporated. She has her Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and her Master's of Science in Psychology. She is the proud mother of 2 children. When not working or parenting, she spends her time serving others through ministry, which keeps her busy with various projects. Madeline daily mantra is, "God has blessed me to be a blessing." Madeline is a member of the National Association of University Women, St. Landry Branch, board member of St. Landry Abilities, member of Rotary Club of Opelousas Sunrise, Kiwanis Club member, program coordinator of Building Better Families Incorporated, and an advisory board member of Powerful Phenomenal Females. So outside of her personal and family life, very busy. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Madeline Rosette. And without taking anything away from our 2 panelists I just introduced, as Dr. Sorensen mentioned, we have a very special guest, a student, the reason that we are all here at LSUE, Miss Felicity Carriere, a first-year freshman majoring in business at LSUE. She plans to transfer to a 4-year university to obtain a bachelor's degree in business and possibly her MBA one day. She is a graduate of Eunice High School, the daughter of Donna Thomas and Chris Carriere. At the early age of 19, she recently started a business while attending college full-time. Felicity is the proud owner of Double Dip Snowballs and More, LLC. Being a young entrepreneur, she believes many may view her as someone who is inexperienced without much to offer. But with her strong faith and prayers, Felicity states, "God has always made a way for me, and I started this business because it was something I always wanted to do." You can serve up many smiles while having fun, she says. Hard work and passion drive her dreams, and she looks forward to helping other young girls believe in themselves by being a positive role model herself. According to Felicity, LSUE is preparing her to be successful in the business industry, and she continues to be encouraged by many on campus, including our Chancellor, Dr. Nancy Sorensen, and Ms. Courtney Fruget, who supported her and gave her words of wisdom. So everybody, please help me welcome Felicity and our panelists. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our stars of the show. So I read your bios, but please tell me a little bit about what you do professionally and why you chose that as a career. And let's start on our left and go down to Miss Felicity. So let's start with Miss Madeline.
I am the executive director of a nonprofit organization. It is a national nonprofit organization named CASA St. Landry-Evangeline. So I'm proud to be a director of this organization because this organization serves abused and neglected children of St. Landry-Evangeline parishes. These kids did nothing to deserve what they receive. They receive abuse and neglect from parents or from relatives or from others, which cause them to be put into the foster care system. So I enjoy advocating on behalf of those kids to make sure that they can come out of the situation that they were faced with and be successful young men and young women, and hopefully. So that's what I do, and I absolutely enjoy doing what I do. We get volunteers to volunteer to serve these children. They are court appointed, which means that they are appointed by a judge to be the advocates, the eyes and the ears for the children. So it's a blessing to be able to help my community and do that for the parishes of St. Landry-Evangeline.
Great. And yes, same question to you, Katie. So what is your career and why did you choose that path?
Okay, so I am a vice president at JD Bank in Eunice. I manage the branch there. I am a loan officer. I have a great team there. I've been in banking for 19 years. I started at the young age of 21 as a teller. Within a month of working in banking, I knew that banking would be my career. At the time, I knew that I had to go back to school if I wanted to obtain my career goal, in a short amount of time. So that's what I did. I was a teller, and I decided I came to night classes here at LSUE, did that for about a year, and worked full-time as a teller. Then I decided to work part-time, and I started coming to day classes here. Did that until I took everything that I could here, and then I transferred to McNeese, where I graduated, and the entire time I was in school, I worked. And it was a difficult road, a lot of challenges life threw at me, but that's what made me appreciate and feel accomplished of what I did. I love the customers that I have at the bank. I love what I do. I love my team, and I love helping people. I love being involved in the community.
You worked full-time and you came to class here at night, is that right?
I did.
Wonderful.
I did that until I took everything that I could at night.
Great. So obviously as a young entrepreneur, why you chose to open up the business that you opened at such a young age? And so what inspired you to do that?
What inspired me to do that is I always wanted to be a fashion designer. I was always coloring. I was always seeing dresses trying to match different things. And I seen somebody making a small, all kind of tops, and they made it look good. And I was like, I can do that. It all goes hand in hand to designing. I love seeing everything I create. I love seeing people smile. I never had anything like this, and I'm like, I know, because it's mine. I made it.
Thank you so much. So the next question is for Ms. Kitty and Ms. Madeline. So women have made great gains in higher education and are now earning more degrees than men. In 2017, almost 60% of bachelor's degrees were earned by women. Women now compose half of the college-educated workforce, and even though there are significant gains being made in the numbers of women, it is equally significant to address the challenges women continue to face. Women hold the least senior administrative positions or full professorships in higher education and are the lowest paid in their field. So this picture paints a not-so-optimistic picture for women in the workforce. So how do you reach your level of success given the gender gap in your field? So how did you rise to the level of success that you have so far in spite of the statistics, I guess?
For me, I guess I rose to the occasion by knowing that, first of all, if I keep God first, I can do anything because He gives me the strength to do anything. But just knowing that I came from a family, I'm not going to say that didn't value education, but the main goal of the family was to complete high school. But I had such extraordinary teachers in my life that told me that I could do more than high school. I can go beyond. So I remember, in particular, taking a class. I can't remember what class it was, and we had to do a 4-year plan after high school. I was in my senior year, and I just had complete high school work, and the teacher gave it back and said, "You are capable of more. You can go beyond." So I never forgot the words of the teacher. I never forgot the words of my grandmother and mother telling me that I was going to complete high school, which high school seemed like it was easy for me. It was nothing. But then going beyond, it came from a teacher seeing something in me and encouraging me to go further. And so when I had the opportunity, I felt like high school was a breeze, and it seemed like college is a breeze too, so I just kept going. And I love to learn. That's one of the things, the more that I learn, it makes me feel, I guess, like I have a wealth of knowledge that I can store within me so that I can purge out and help the next person. So I enjoy learning, and I encourage any person who's watching, whether you're a man or a lady, the knowledge is power. And so that's something that I always felt from that day that the teacher encouraged me, that it could never leave. As long as I put it inside, then I can release it outside.
Fantastic work. And yes, what do you?
So I think for me, the most important thing to do is be confident. And if you want something, you're going to work very hard to obtain that goal. I was fortunate on many levels, when I first began my career, that I had a supportive family. I had a lot of support in my first job as a teller. When I had a big dream to be more, I was fortunate that I had a supervisor and a mentor who encouraged me, who pushed me, and even to this day, I'm fortunate that I work for a company that, supports me because of my work, for the work that I put in. They back me because of the work I do. And, gender hasn't, really affected me per se. It's the work that I do and the work that I put in. And so I guess the message I would give to others, male or female, would be work hard, do the job, you will get recognized, your work will show it, and that's what you have to do.
Awesome. Thank you. And so the next question is for Felicity. What would you tell young women who are just starting to work or pursue their educational career? What would you like them to know?
I would tell a young person that they will get looked down on, they will get talked about just because of their age, but me being 19 years old, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. So, Katie, you talked about your having a supportive supervisor. So, in addition to that, and this is a question for all of y'all, who have you drawn professional inspiration from specifically? Without any women or men, but specifically any women that you've drawn professional inspiration from, either a young professional or even to this day?
Oh, there are many. I have a list of them. Women that inspire me, women that are strong. As women, it's very hard to balance being independent, strong, but also being caring and nurturing. It's a task to balance all those things, to be, even as a branch manager, to be a leader to my group, to lead them, to show them how they have to grow, how they need to grow, what they're capable of. But also balancing that, because I am a mom and I am a woman that, that I am nurturing and I am kind. And so that's what I try to do in my management skills and with my team. And that's who I look up to as mentors, other women who are able to balance that.
For me, as Ms. Kitty was speaking, I was like, it's so many for me. It's so many because I pull on their strength, and I just pay attention to women in general. Somebody can inspire me and just be sitting in the crowd, and it's something that they said. So as I was thinking, I think immediately my go-to person who I can call, and it's just so ironic today is her birthday, Dr. Landry-Evangeline. She's a phenomenal woman. She's an academia retiree of LSUE. And she's awesome. Like, this lady had a pilot license. She did so much work in the community. And at home, I think of my grandmother, who was a lady who did not graduate from high school, but enforced it and encouraged it in me to do so. She balanced home, and at times she had to get a job, and she had to take care of the family and her kids. So those are two strengths, or two ladies who inspired me to keep going, and among a lot of other ladies who I pulled something from, even your very own Dr. Jessica Jones. I've had the privilege of meeting her just recently, and she's been inspirational in my life as well.
Thank you. And Felicity, for you?
For me, it would definitely be my grandmother. Like, she was always there. Out of all of her kids, she had 8 kids. She was there no matter what. She always had to bring a crew with her, but I promise you, she was there no matter what. She was always there. And my mom, I can't thank y'all enough.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great. So, what do you believe will be the biggest challenge for the generation of women coming after you? So, the next generation of women, we're going to challenge you all to go through it. And for the next generation, what do you think they will face?
Some of those challenges are, I think, believing and knowing that they can set more, that they have next. They have the next seat at the table, and just believing in themselves. And though they may be knocked down, or it may appear like something may be a male-dominant role, or whatever that situation may be for them, just knowing that they can. One of the things that women are underrepresented in is political leadership. So that is one of the avenues that I would encourage the women behind me to come up, is if they want to advocate for their communities, if they want to do some work for the community, consider being a leader, a political leader, or just a leader in their communities as well.
So for me, I have 3 children and I have 2 daughters. So they're coming up behind me. So the most important thing for me as their mom is to lead by example, to instill confidence in them, to let them know that they can be whatever they want to be. If they put in the work for it, they can be anything they want to be. Probably the biggest challenge, which is a challenge I face and probably every mom that works out there faces, is balancing a career with a family. If you're used to giving 100%, it's hard to give 100% on the career side and on the family side, because you just can't. You have to balance it, and finding that balance is important. So balance and instilling confidence in them.
Great. Let's see what for the next generation. I know you're the young generation coming in, but
For the next generation, I say that you always have to keep your mind right. If your mind isn't right, you're not going to reach the goal that you want to reach. You have to have a clear mind. You have to set your goals, be strong, and stay on task each and every day.
great. Thank you. All right. So, and this can be for any of our panelists. So, what is one leadership lesson that you learned in your career? So, a lesson broadly that you learned about leadership. That could be your professional position or maybe one of your community service roles.
I think in leadership, I relate it back to being a mom. Like, you lead by example. So your employees and the people in the community are watching what you do. They're supporting you. They're getting encouraged by things you do. So you are a role model in all aspects.
For me, I think it would be to listen, whether you supervise an employee or you're serving on community projects, to listen. It's more than one way to handle a situation, and if you think that as a supervisor that it's only your way, not so good. So I encourage supervisors to just listen, just hear your employee out, because it may be something that they bring about change of a particular policy or something. So hear and listen.
And Felicity, I know you don't have a large staff yet yes, not yet. It's coming. But is there any lessons that you learned from leaders, either from other leaders, that have led you, but any leadership lessons that, as an aspiring leader, you have taken away?
always gonna be a change. Like from today, it might not be the same thing for tomorrow. So you have to just learn how to constantly adjust to each and every situation.
Great, thank you. So how important is it for women to lift each other up, and what does that mean to you? Your coworkers, or others in the community, just to lift other people up? How important is that?
That is very important to me because we've had our share of challenges as being women. We know that there's a wage gap. We know that we have to be a mother, many of us. We have so much on our shoulders, so it's so important to lift the next person up. You know, I'm just admiring, just sitting here getting the opportunity to meet both of these young ladies on the side of me, and then I hear Felicity, who's a 19-year-old. I can't wait till this is over with so I can speak with her and just encourage her, have some encouraging words for her. So it's just very important that we do that for each other and offer that support up to each other.
Definitely. So supporting each other is key with this, and in everything, and male and female, genders across the board, supporting each other, being happy for someone's success is so important. We need to encourage each other. We need to celebrate other people's success. So.
So for Carolyn, for Madeline, and also Felicity, any of you give us with us, tell us the importance of giving back to the community and the impact you hope to leave. So, and the reason I phrase specifically for y'all is that reading your bios, y'all are very involved in the community. So why is that, and what do you hope to, why is that? What motivates you about being so involved in your community?
For me, my children are my motivation for being so involved in my community. I am a single parent, and one of the things I would always say is that if I leave this earth today or tomorrow, what do I have to leave behind? What social capital do I have to leave for my children? Who are going to remember me and the work that I believe in that can maybe encourage my children if something should happen to me? So, and giving back is so important. Just an awesome question. I recently did a post just saying it's not about my biological bloodline. It's not about my children only. It's about children and people in my entire community who I want to serve. If I just look after mine, who's going to take care of the next? Who's struggling? We have to be able to encourage and pull each other up. So I believe that it's a social capital that I'm leaving behind by me doing so much in my community for my kids to maybe one day pick up the torch and say, hey, I want to do this just like my mom, and that's serve others.
So, you know, if I'm going to be a leader, and I spoke, you know, before about inspiring and being a leader, you know, if I'm going to be a leader, I do want to inspire. I want to inspire people in the community. I want to inspire my own children. Most of the events that I do in the community on the weekends, my daughters come with me. You know, I try to lead by example. Eunice is a great city, and I want to give back to it. And, you know, I'm involved in the surrounding areas as well, and that's important to me.
So how do we get younger people involved in the community? You know, what's your pitch to Felicity to get her to Rotary?
If I had to encourage Felicity or younger people to be a part of the community, I would. And in fact, I am a Rotarian, so I would offer her to come over, be my guest at a Rotary Club meeting, let us know what she is doing and what she has to offer the community. I think it's so important, like, to include everyone at the table. That's a diverse age range. You know, me as someone who's older than Felicity, I don't think I should be the only person at the table. We need to be inclusive. We need to include our younger generation. And I believe that a person like Felicity could probably pull in even more younger people. I can't reach everyone, but if I can reach Felicity or someone else, they can probably reach the next person. So my daughter, she gets voluntold often that She's going to events. I make her calendar. She's 18 years old, and she's like, Mama, really, do I have to go here? Yes, you do, because this is important. And so that's what I would try to encourage someone like Felicity who can bring in the next young person.
So, Felicity, I would say that one way I would say one reason for you to get involved would be to develop relationships, of course, and a broad range of relationships. You know, there's people of all ages in that group, and I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. So when I accepted the position in Eunice 5 years ago, I'm not from Eunice, so I knew a handful of people, but I needed to network, and I needed to get my face out there, and I needed to meet people. So I think within the first 30 days of being in Eunice at JD Bank, I said, well, I'm going to go to a Rotary meeting. And so I just walked in, and I think I knew one person in that room, and most of them were probably double my age. And I look back now, and it was a little frightening to walk into that room not knowing anybody, but those have been some of the best relationships that I have developed over the years. So it's just an amazing experience, and you definitely benefit from it.
Awesome, great, thank you. Okay, so I've just got a few more questions, and then for everybody in Zoom land, I want y'all to feel free to put your questions in the chat. Is that appropriate, Dr. Jones? Yes, okay, so everybody in the room is going to get a chance to ask questions, and so think good ones. And everybody out there, make sure to put your questions in the chat. Dr. Jones is going to relay those on your behalf. So, what are some strategies that can help women achieve a more prominent role in their organizations? So, if I'm a young woman that want to move up quickly, what do I need to do to make that happen?
I would say avail yourself. You know, sometimes like working in the workforce, typically job hours may be 8 to 5, but there may be projects or opportunities where you can do something on the weekends or even after work. I would say don't be in a rush to leave. You know, if you don't have to. I realize that some people have families or other commitments, but just make yourself accessible and show that passion and that drive that you have for what you're doing. And someone is going to notice it. Like even when you don't notice it, someone else may notice it. Well, I noticed that she's always staying or she's working on something, but you're getting all your other assignments complete. It's not like you waited to the end of the day to complete your assignments, but you're doing and you're doing extra if you have to. So just avail yourself to your employer.
So I would say go above and beyond. Everybody has a job description. Every single person has one. Do more than what your job description says. Show your supervisor or whoever's above you what you're capable of. Come up with a new idea. As a manager, I often ask for feedback from my employees. Give me an idea. Tell me something that would help us run this place more efficient. So I think just do more than what's expected. Wow them.
Awesome, fantastic. Felicity, for any young entrepreneurs out there, what strategy, what advice do you give any young entrepreneurs that are thinking about doing what you already have?
I would say get out of your comfortable zone. Don't always stay comfortable. Try something new, keep going, plan it out. I write down everything. I have to, if I don't see it, then it kind of won't happen. That's how I do it.
Fantastic. Well, so I'm not going to my question right here, but I want to open it up to the room, and then anybody online. So hopefully we've heard a lot about leadership and what inspired these amazing individuals up here. And what questions do you have for them? Turn the microphone over to our audience. Yes, we're.
If you're a person who is motivated and likes to stay motivated, is always trying to get those around them motivated, to not lose faith in that path.
So, repeat the question for our proposal. The question was, how do you keep others motivated to stay on that path? And
Yeah, so I would say keep encouraging them. Notice on their path that they're on, what success they're having, and then also notice what their struggles are so that you can help them and you can coach them through those struggles to get them where they want to be.
Okay, guys, Dr. Jones has a question also online.
So, question from Zoomland. It's been said, empower women. What does empowerment look like today for the young woman in this age of social media?
So I'll repeat that, make sure I get that right. It's been said empowerment, but what does that mean? Empowering women today in this age of social media?
I would say through this age of social media, it's just so much. You realize that me, little Madeline, and I'm just can empower a lady in Washington, D.C. So it's so many pros to social media, just even posting encouraging things, to different women or just making a general post in itself. So I think social media helps out in that aspect that it travels. So I would say use that platform to encourage if you certainly can, and continue to encourage even people who you see on a daily basis in person.
This question is for all panelists.
All panelists. Questions for all panelists.
So definitely you're reaching a large audience. So use it for good. Encourage as I spoke of earlier, whenever you see someone who is celebrating their success, celebrate with them. Help them enjoy and be proud of what they've worked for. So that's what I would suggest.
Social media is, with my age, looking at other girls, I say delete the app. But looking at older women, I see there's good in the world. I see that there's people that's trying to help the world. And for that, thank y'all. Thank both of y'all. You are really.
So I have a question. This option, you're obviously very successful, but this is not the end. So where do you see yourself a few years from now down the road? What's the vision that you see for yourself? This is a better question for all.
It is so hard. That is a question I get asked, and I guess the vision for me would be to continue to make sure that children are safe as much as I possibly can. I know when I retire job, what I'm going to do, I hopefully one day can retire as a consultant working for myself, and doing something to even possibly do some training or some consulting with nonprofit organizations or private organizations. But right now, the immediate goal and the plan is to make sure that children and families are safe.
So my plan, of course, is growth. I'm not sure exactly in what aspect that is, but just to grow and to know more than I know today. That's part of life. To always learn new things. I have a long road ahead of me in this career, and I don't plan on stopping. I plan to continue to grow and reach for the highest.
Fantastic. And Felicity, you mentioned that your MBA or you're thinking of pursuing, so what about you? Where do you see yourself maybe 10 years from now?
10 years from now, maybe I'll have a family. But definitely I do want a snowball building. I want a permanent location. Maybe I'll have a different business. I definitely want more than one business.
Fantastic. That's wonderful to hear. That's a work-life balance, have a family, and be able to talk about. Great. So jumped in there, but I want to turn it back over. We have another question from Zoom.
What advice do you have for speaking truth to power?
So, question was, what advice do you have for speaking truth to power?
I would say always speak truth. Truth supersedes tradition. That's one of my little sayings. Some things are so traditional, and we've been doing it because maybe it was brought into our families, and we continue to do things this certain way because grandma and grandpa did things this way. Well, times have changed. So we need to be observant, visual, and notice what is true. And let truth supersedes the tradition.
Any other panels weigh in, or? Good. Yes.
Yes, the Zoom is hot.
Oh. That's all.
So another question, this is for all panelists. Do you ever experience burnout? If so, how do you manage and cope while balancing all of your roles and responsibilities?
Yeah, so the question about burnout, and how do you manage it, how do you cope, and still get everything done at the end of the day? So, question for all panelists.
Okay, so I'm kind of giggling about this because definitely it's definitely something that I experience, and I'm sure a lot of people can weigh in on. I think the most important thing is unplugging. It's very hard to do. I know in my role to shut my phone off, especially with social media, and people can get to you. They find a way to get in touch with you, and when you're trying to balance a career and kids and all that, it's very important to unplug for a bit to kind of recharge and get back at it. So.
Felicity, being a college student, you probably know a little bit about being overwhelmed, but how do you cope and get it done?
With me being a college student, working at Walmart, and just trying to open up this business, it's very overwhelming. I always take a nap. I take a nap, and then I wake up, I taste a snowball, and then I'm ready to go all over again.
Naps and snowballs. Great. Well, Justice, has a quick question off Zoom.
All right, so this is about mentoring and innovation. What are some innovations from other women in your sphere of influence that has inspired and or motivated you to keep moving forward? So what are some innovations from other women in your sphere of influence that has inspired and or motivated you to keep moving forward?
So what innovations from others within your sphere of influence inspire you to keep moving forward?
I think I've been motivated by, like I said earlier, many women. One of them is in the audience, and I thank her for being here to the show. One of the things that I've taken from Kizzy is the power of prayer. Before this lady leaves her house, she prays with her family. She covers them in prayer. Before I even get out of bed, that's one of the things that I do. So I took that inspiration from her, where, like if I'm going somewhere, like just with my daughter traveling with me, we always say a quick prayer. That motivates me, that encourages me to continue out my day. So prayer is where I lean forward to on a daily basis.
I think for me is remaining positive, keeping a positive attitude. I was fortunate my mom's here. She's always positive. She's always smiling. So I saw that growing up. And so if you stay positive, you can handle any situation. It's not always going to be, sunshine and rainbows, but you have to have the right outlook on it.
Having the right mindset, you always have to have that right mindset. You always have to be ready for a change.
Great. Thank you so much. We have a question? Does anybody in the room have a question? Maybe your last opportunity. You do have a question up right here.
So what obstacles have shaped you all to the person that you all are today?
So the question is, what obstacles have you faced and maybe overcome, maybe not, that have shaped you to become who you are today?
I faced the obstacles of school, and at one time when I was a college student, Felicity, I physically, but I still work hard mentally. I knew that it was very important for me to go to school. I just knew that. So that obstacle that I faced was to kind of keep going despite the many things that I was doing at one time. I knew that the most and very important thing was for me to get a degree.
Well, for me, I would say, financial security was probably an obstacle, but also my push and my drive to get where I am today. I've always been independent, self-sufficient. I started a babysitting business at the age of 12, I think. So I've always been this way, and so that obstacle has led me to where I am today, so I'm thankful for it.
As a student and as a business student, what obstacles have you faced?
When I hear someone say that they can't do something, it makes me want to go and get it and show them that you can do it. And with that obstacle, with that mindset, I just keep going.
Floor is open for anybody else asking a question for all of our panelists or one of our panelists in particular? No? Okay, going once. All right. Well, okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, I asked about engaging on, when you walk into a room full of ladies and gentlemen that you don't know, what goes through your mind? How do you prepare to walk up the microphone and speak?
Yeah, so speaking to confidence and how you walk into a room of people you don't know and stand with a microphone in your face and you can how do you do that?
Find a way to connect. So connecting is very, very important. Today, I didn't know how many people were going to be here. I kind of knew a little, but my connection piece was making sure that I invited some people who I knew. And seeing Dr. Kyle here, that helped too, because we were in class together. But if I had to absolutely walk in this room and not know anyone, I'm sure I can connect with someone some type of way. I like shoes, I like purses, I like something. But I'm gonna find a reason to say something to someone so that, and by nature, I'm actually a shy person. I'm a very shy person, but I find a way to connect some type of way.
Definitely. Yeah. So for me, it's also connecting with the audience. And, if you just speak from the heart and, how you truly feel, that makes it a whole lot easier. And I know for me and probably the majority of the people, speaking in public is just something that gets a little easier the more you do it. So that's my opinion.
As a 19-year-old, how do you sit
Me, I'm very shy. So me walking in, I'm like, breathe, breathe, breathe. I'm trying to breathe the whole time. But I like it. I like seeing, I like the questions.
Yeah, we got another one from that. Let's hear it.
For Felicity, what's the biggest lesson or information that you learned about setting up a small business?
So the question was, what lessons have you learned about setting up a small business and going through that process?
Well, since I started my business before I took a business class, I didn't really know much. So now that I see there's SBA loans that I could have applied for way back then, and I just wish I would have knew all of that earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure you know where a lot more of you.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what else you prepared.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have any other questions from anyone? No? Okay. Well, I guess we do. Rick.
This is for Fifi. Mommy wants to know, are you glad to be where you are right now?
The question is, to Ms. Felicity, are you glad to be where you are?
I'm more than glad. I'm trying to hold it all in. Thank you. LSUE.
All right. Thank you so much, Felicity. Thank you, Joe, Madeline. I appreciate everything you share with us. You know, even though Women's History Month ends at midnight tonight, I hope that the conversations that we've had here and our panelists' thoughts will stay with y'all, and hopefully there's young women and older women out there that have been inspired by these three, and I just want to thank them for their time. We do have some token of appreciation. On behalf of LSUE, for coming out here, so Dr. Jones has been, Dr. Jones is our co-chair for our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, and she is essential to the work that committee does. So I'd like for everybody in this room, please give Dr. Jones a round of applause.
I'll say a few words. I'd like to thank everyone in the room for attending and for supporting what we consider to be an event, but we want it to be more than just an event. We want it to actually, change culture, something that's sustainable, so that we can celebrate and uplift women, men, all individuals in our surrounding community. So I'd like to thank Dr. Sorensen, all of our individuals on the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. There's so many individuals here, Dr. Smith, because this is something that is near and dear to my heart. So we are very excited about what we all have planned for Eunice. So keep watching. I enjoyed it. I too had to keep it together to not get choked up. I remember being extremely young with dreams, and the women here right here have accomplished so much. So we're so proud of you. Thank you for being deep into the light in our community. So we're talking about appreciation.
Thank you.
Coming up to our full Zoom meeting here, so you have something to say to close out.
Well, I think I'll stand here.
Sure.
And have just a couple of words. This really is a new chapter for LSUE. With our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, as you can see, I am just a part of a very, very talented team of people that we have here at the university that are committed to not only what they do in the workplace every day, but committed to the community and to the betterment and improvement of our community. So it really can't get much better than this. As Dr. Jones has said, and as the co-chair of this committee, we are on a transformative road here at LSUE. We're in the middle of a major strategic planning process. We want to plan so that LSUE is not only surviving and thriving now, but well into the future. So it's a very exciting time for us here. Dr. Jones was also, I need to say it, she was also the architect of a national initiative that we have just been selected for. We are now a Rural Cohort Institute, and the name of that initiative is Building Resilience in Rural Communities for the Future of Work. So we will be on a national stage for the next 3 years. And earlier today, we had the great fortune of having Senator Bill Cassidy here to tour the campus, to learn about this initiative, and to learn about our plans for the future. So it is with gratitude and appreciation that I stand here as the Chancellor, because we've all stood on the shoulders of other people to help get us here. And in terms of what we want to leave behind, it is to leave behind a very, very, very strong university that will serve our community for many generations to come. So we want to thank you very much for being here. I couldn't be happier about the work of this committee. So thank you all very much.